Going to run a pitch sweep to Bradley Gordon, getting to the corner, gets a block from Stone Street, and spins out. Is going to be stopped short of the 40-yard line at about the 39. Good tackle there by number 66 for Starkville Academy. That's Eric Collison. He is a defensive tackle.
Collison closed awful quick on the play that time. Stone Street did put a good block on the corner, but was unable to really effectively move anyone out of the way. Penalty on the first play of the game, Albert.
So the old penalty bugaboo that has bugged the Lee Academy coach all year long has bitten again here on the first play of the football game. Lee Academy coach is going to be guilty of a face mask call. And that'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Colts. 11:40 to go in the first period. No score, just underway. Moves the football back inside of Lee Academy's 25 to the 24. The Colts will have it. They've got to go to the 45 for a first down, so it's first down and 21. First and 21 for the Lee Academy Colts. And Wayne Boland's wide left and George Miller's wide to the right. Stone Street and Gordon are in the I formation. Behind senior quarterback Duff, five-man front for Starkville. There's an option pitch out here to Bradley Gordon. He's into the secondary. He's out over the 35-yard line, out to about the 37-yard line before he's knocked down. So he gets the 15 yards back on the penalty, plus about an extra one, and brings up second down and 9 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts.
Gordon showing why he can get to the corners really good. There is good speed that he has, just allowed him to get to the corner and turn it upfield. Picked up the penalty yardage plus one. Second down and 9.
Good read by senior quarterback Duff. And we break Cullen a split backfield now with George Miller wide to the right and Chris Lively's wide left. And we're going to run the inside handoff to Stone Street. He's right up the middle behind great blocking up front on the Lee Academy offensive front. He gets first down yardage out over the 45-yard line to about the 47. Let's give him the 48-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts. No score, just underway.
Good blocking up front by the offensive line of the Colts, moving them out of the way and opening the hole for Stoney. Head down, just right up the middle play.
Bibb Roberts checks into the game for the Colts at one of the wide receiver positions. Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind Duff. We're going to miss Chris Turman tonight, Rich, if he doesn't get to play much. And Duff barking out his signals. He's going to give the football inside handoff to Gordon. Gordon's not going to get much as number 66, Collison, makes a nice play. Gain of about a yard on the play. Second down and 9 yards to go for the Colts. Boy, it's a nice night, Rich.
Really a beautiful night here in Starkville. Just up the street here, I think Starkville High School is
playing. No, they're playing at Louisville.
Playing at Louisville tonight, 25 miles south of here.
Coach Ray Cuddle, Wayne Boland wide right. Ivy Dees is wide to the left. Stone Street is close. Bradley Gordon's deep out of the I formation. Tight end Flowers lined up on the left-hand side now. Duff is going to take the football, the option, going to give it to Gordon. Got a great block from Wayne Boland at the corner, and Bradley Gordon is into Starkville Academy territory inside the 40 down to about the 35-yard line. Good blocking by Lee Academy at the perimeter, and Lee Academy is going to have first down yardage inside of Starkville Academy's territory at the 35-yard line. And this is the opening drive of the game, and really probably look pretty good tonight, Rich.
Absolutely. 5 plays, 5 running plays. Bradley Gordon that time, good blocking up front for him, particularly on the corners, but he also showed a little bit of his open field running ability, putting a couple of moves and picking up extra 5-7 yards.
Chris Lively's split to the left. Ivy D is in the slot to the left. Stone Street and Gordon are split behind senior quarterback Duff. And there's the inside handoff to Stone Street. He battles and fights his way inside the 35-yard line down to the 30. Gain of about 5 on the play. Bring it up 2nd and 5 for the Lee Academy Colts. Big football game in Indianola tonight, Rich. The SBEC Trojans playing the Indianola Colonels. We'll try to, if we can, try to get a score on that. Jeff, listening back at the station, if you hear a score on that, give us a call here during a commercial.
I know Washington's playing at Oak Hill, I believe, and Pilla is playing just down 82 at Heritage tonight also.
Wayne Boland goes wide to the left. Ivy Dees will be in the slot to the left. Stone Street's close, and Bradley Gordon's deep out of the I, 5-man front for Starkville Academy. We bring motion back to the right, and Ivy Dees. And Duff's going to run the option, going to pitch it to Gordon, going to pitch it behind him, and Gordon's just going to fall on it. Had a little running room, Rich, just a bad pitch. And Gordon got back on it and fell on it back out over the 40. Back to the 43-yard line. loss of about 13 on the play.
Andrew looked like he might have rushed it just a little bit that time. The end was coming in on him. He pitched it out and looked like it was just a little rushed and wound up behind Bradley.
3rd down and 19 yards to go for the Colts. We get Wayne Bolden wide to the right. Ivy Dees is in the slot to the right. And Stone Street is close, and Bradley Gordon's deep out of the eye, and Duff's under the center looking at a 5-man Starkville front. He sprints to the right to throw, looking, throws the football deep downfield. It's going to be caught by Ivy Dees inside the 10 down to about the 6-yard line before he's knocked down by Starkville. So nice throw by senior quarterback Duff to senior slide back Ivy Dees, and Gordon's deep out of the eye, and Duff's under the center looking at a 5-man Starkville front. He sprints to the right to throw, looking, throws the inside the 10 down to about the 6-yard line before he's knocked down by Starkville. So nice throw by senior quarterback Duff to senior slide back Ivy Dees, and the Colts are in business inside of Starkville Academy's 10-yard line at the 5.
Tell you what, they came up on a 3rd and 19, which we've had a lot of this year, 3rd and 21s, 3rd and 19s. Andrew found the open man. Ivy Dees looked for him all the way. Ivy worked himself behind 2 defenders and made a nice catch. 1st and goal for the Colts.
We get Jeff Basler into the football game to play tight end for the Lee Academy Colts. Chet Stanley is not dressed out tonight as he has a separated shoulder. The Colts in the wishbone. 2 tight ends looking at a 6-man Starkville Academy front from the 5-yard line. Andrew Duff's going to give it off right tackle to Bradley Gordon. He's going to squirt inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. Might have got to the 3. Bad angle up here from the press box. Hard to tell. But it's going to be 2nd down for sure, as the Colts have kept the football almost for half of the first quarter. Gain of 1 on the play. 2nd down and goal to go from the 4 for Lee Academy. Colts break huddle, 2 tight end wishbone formation again. Chris Turman is in the football game, so it's good to see him. Youngster injured last week with a hip pointer. And Duff is going to give the football to Turman. Turman's going to get close to the goal line before he stopped. Might be at maybe the 1 or the 2-yard line. 3rd down now for the Colts.
3rd down and goal from about the 2, Albert. This is the 10th play of this drive. He has used up right now officially 1/2 of the first quarter.
6 minutes exactly to go in the first quarter. Colts still have the football. Basler checks out of the game. Wayne Bolden gets into the game at tight end now. So 3rd down and goal to go from the 2. Stone Street's the fullback. Turman and Gordon are the halfbacks behind Duff. And Duff is going to run a bootleg and is going to be sacked for a loss. So Starkville was waiting for that, Rich. As we just tried to run the naked bootleg to the right out of the wishbone, Colts are going to call timeout. Timeout is on the field. Lee Academy is going to have it 4th down and goal to go from the 9. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. The Lee Academy coach from Starkville Academy's 9-yard line. 5:26 to go in the first quarter of the football game. No score. Colts have had a good drive. Need to get some points, Rich.
Oh, they really do. It's 4th and 9, like you say. It was 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. You sometimes wonder why we just didn't go ahead and bust it straight up head, but the coaches are calling this game, and they know a lot more about football than we do, don't they, Albert?
And we're still in the wishbone from the 9-yard line with Stone Street and Bradley Gordon and Turman, the running backs. Wayne Bolden and Scott Flowers are the tight ends. And Duff straight back to throw, looking, is going to be sacked for a loss. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. They had his defense pretty good there. We were looking for Chris Turman out of the backfield, it looked like, and they threw us for a loss, and the Colt defense will take over. 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. Colts will be in a 4-man front with 4 linebackers and 3 defensive backs. Number 11 for Starkville Academy he's their quarterback. His name is Brad McKenzie, and they break huddle with wide receivers both ways. And I formation in the backfield. Colts in a 4-man front. And McKenzie looking over the Colt defense, barking out his signals. He's going to take the football and going to give it to the tailback. And he's not going to get anything, as the Colt might have got a yard on the play, out over the 10, maybe to the 11. For John Martin Harris, Richard Lewis doing a good job for the Lee Academy coach. John Martin drawing a start on defense tonight. 4:40 to go in the first quarter. Starkville breaks huddle, wide receivers both ways, backs in an I formation. Colts in a 4-man front with 4 linebackers, and McKenzie is going to take the football and give it to the tailback. He's not going to get anything again. Once again, it's John Martin Harris, Richard Lewis, Kerry Middleton. See who else is getting up off the bottom of that stack. Scott Flowers. Gain of about a half a yard on the play. We're going to call it 3rd down and 10 again. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, no score.
2 times they've been up the gut, 2 times they've gone nowhere.
Starkville breaks huddle and sends wide receivers on both sides again. Line up in an I formation. McKenzie looking over the Lee Academy 4-man front. Barking out his signals. He's going to take the football and going to fake. Looking downfield. Is going to be sacked. Is going to break away. Now he's going to be knocked down. Fumbles the football. But he's going to call him down back inside the 5-yard line at about the 2. So Starkville will punt from deep in their own territory now. Coach should get good field position again. Good stand by the Lee defense.
Excellent stand by the Lee defense that time. 3 plays, -8 yards. Can't do any better than that. Plus, they're going to wind up with excellent field position, like you say, to begin their second drive.
4th down and 19 yards to go. Wayne Bolin and Bradley Gordon will be standing at about the Lee Academy 35-yard line. Both youngsters with great speed. And number 40 for Starkville Academy, that is Jamie Welch. He'll be standing right at the back of the end zone to punt this football away. They need a good snap. He gets it, gets the kick away. It's an end-over-end kick that is going to bounce in Starkville Academy territory and go out of bounds. Looks like at about the 25-yard line. So we'll call it the 25. Colts have great field position. A 23-yard punt that time by Welch. Colts almost blocked it. Number 12 for the Colts, Jim Walker in there, almost blocking that punt for the Colts. Colts will take over 1st down and 10 yards to go from Starkville Academy's 25. No score, 2:49 to go in the first quarter.
A first quarter that's been totally dominated by the Colts.
Backs are split, Stone Street and Gordon. And we have 2 receivers. There's the inside handoff to Stone Street. He just comes inside the 20-yard line, gets down to about the 16-yard line before he's knocked down. He's going to pick up a 9 on the play, 2nd down and 1. So I'm sure here the Colts will just take the football and try to knock Starkville off the ball and try to get us a touchdown here. No score, 2nd and 1.
In a very fast-moving first quarter.
Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Wayne Bolin goes wide to the right. Ivy Dees will slot to the right. And Terman and Gordon are split behind Duff, looking at a 5-man Starkville front. And there's a little blitz there, a little stunt. And they got Duff before he could turn and make his handoff. So we missed some blocks up front. Starkville got in there and stunted on us. And we didn't pick the stunt up.
We did not pick it up. Therefore, Andrew had no time to get the play developed. A loss of a yard on the play.
Let's call it 3rd and about 2, really closer to 3rd and 1. But
looks like he got a favorable spot there.
We break huddle again. Wide receivers on both sides. And Gordon and Terman shift into the I formation. And Duff is going to take the football and going to give it to Chris Terman. And Chris Terman is going to get close to 1st down yardage inside of the 15-yard line at about the 13. So that'll be a 1st down for the Lee Academy Colts. 1:23 to go in the first quarter. This is the quickest moving quarter I've ever seen.
I tell you what, there's been no passes.
No penalties?
I've been one pass, excuse me. Been one pass.
It was complete.
And it was complete.
1:14 to go in the first quarter. Colts break huddle and send George Miller wide to the right. Chris Lively's wide to the left. Bradley Gordon and Turman are in the I formation behind Duff on first down and 10 yards to go from the 13-yard line. There's a pitch sweep out here to Turman. Turman trying to get to the corner, dances inside the 10, is going to be pulled down at about the 5. So pickup of about 8 on the play for Chris Turman, make it second down and 2 yards to go. 47 seconds to go in the first quarter. Clock is moving.
It's good to see, like you said, Chris Turman back out on the field after suffering that little bit of an injury. He's running good, looking really good right at the moment. Pam Mitchell and all your party up there in Lula, I knew you would want to know about that. Pam's got our friends up there.
George Miller goes wide to the left. Wayne Bolin is wide to the right. Gordon's close and Turman's deep out of the eye. Tight ends lined up on the left-hand side on second down and 2 yards to go from about the 5. Pitch sweep to Turman, trying to get to the corner, got a blocker in front, cuts inside, trips. Really kind of had a little lane to the end zone there, and Chris Turman just kind of might have tripped over his blocker's feet, but he's going to have first down yardage inside the 5-yard line at the 3. First and goal from the 3, 4 seconds to go in the first quarter. First quarter's fixing to be over. Clock is stopped to set the chains, and it's first and goal from the 3. First quarter's over. Lee Academy coach and Starkville a 0-0. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. On the first play of the second period, the Lee Academy Colts are in the wishbone with 2 tight ends. Got out here once before and didn't get it in. First down and goal to go from the 4. Give it off left tackle to Turman. He's going to get close to the goal line, down to about the 1 before he's knocked down. By the Starkville Academy defensive front, number 76 getting up off the bottom of the pile. That's Scott Wilbanks. He's a 220-pound senior defensive tackle. It's in on their goal line defense. Second down and goal to go. Less than a yard to go now for a touchdown for the Lee Academy Colts. Wayne Bolin checks into the game, replacing Basler at tight end. Second period just underway, 11:29 to go. We break color in a wishbone formation. 2 tights, looking at a 6-man Starkville Academy goal line defense. Second down, less than a yard. We're going to give it to Gordon. He's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. The Academy Colts have broken on top 6-0. And we'll get Ivy D's into the football game to kick the extra point. $11-11 to go in the first quarter. And Ivy D's will tee it up at the 10-yard line. Jack Laney will snap and George Miller will hold. The Colts have played a lot of people here in the first quarter. And have broken on top 6-0, Rich.
Colts in the first quarter had the ball 9.5 minutes compared to 2.5 minutes for Starkville, so that's a pretty good indication of the control of the game that has been there so far. D's in for the extra point.
Miller will hold at the 10. Jack Laney will snap. Snap is back. It's a little high. Gets it down. The kick is up. And his best kick of the year. Split the uprights. Ivy D's puts the Colts on top 7-0. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy football. Lee Academy's Wayne Bolin has the football teed up at the 40. This will be his first kickoff of the year. And back deep to receive for Starkville's number 5, John Layton. The referee's whistle blows. And Wayne Bolin approaches the football and will get the kick away, and it's going to be a high kick. It's going to be fielded by number 9 right at the 15-yard line. And number 30 overruns it, and he's down the sidelines he goes and going to be knocked out of bounds by Bolin. Number 30 for the Lee Academy Colts. That's Chris Walker, was down there in good position and just let him run right by him.
Chris had good containment that time. He came right, stayed in that position down the left side, but he just, like you said, he just blew right on by the kickoff returner. Let him get another 10 yards upfield. They'll have it first and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
So the kickoff team for Lee Academy once again showing maybe a chink in our armor. Starkville breaks huddle with 3 wide receivers in the game now. 1 running back behind McKenzie. Coach still in a 4-man front. McKenzie looking over the Lee Academy defense. We're blitzing as Stone Street slipping up. And there's an inside handoff to number 5, Layton. And he's going to be drugged down by the free safety, Wayne Bolin. and he was the last player between Layton and the Promised Land. Gain of about 8 on the play, 2nd down and 2 yards to go for Starkville.
Good job that time by Bolin, just staying at home and making a very, very nice and maybe a touchdown-saving open field tackle.
2nd down and 2 yards to go for Starkville, looking for their first down. Starkville breaks huddle and sends wide receiver to the right and the left, and the backs line up in an I formation. McKenzie's under the center. Colts defense, this time not showing blitz. We're going to give the football to number 29. They're going to give the football to, don't have a number for that youngster. We'll wait, number 28. Yes, we do. That's Rod McMahon. He was the tailback out of the I formation. Gain of about 1.5, 3rd down and less than a yard to go for Starkville Academy. 10 minutes exactly to go in the half. Colts on top, 7-0. Starkville breaks huddle, sends a wide receiver to the right and a wide receiver to the left. And there's a quarterback sneak, and he gets the first down. Out over into Lee Academy territory by about 1.5 yards or 2 yards is McKenzie. First down for Starkville at Lee Academy's 49-yard line.
For Starkville, that's the 6th play that they've run offensively so far. They spent most of the night on the field on the other side of the ball. They're trying to put together a little sustained drive here and come up with something to counter the 7 points that Lee has.
McKenzie's under center. Colts in a 4-man front showing blitz. They may be checking off. Straight back to throw is McKenzie. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to throw it and just basically get rid of it. Intended for number 82, Edward Kemp, the tight end, as Jack Laney had great pressure on McKenzie that time. Brings up 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Colts.
You can usually tell a guy's just going to get rid of the ball when he's running backwards and throwing it forwards.
That's absolutely correct. Starkville Academy breaks huddle, sends wide receiver to the right and left, and the backs are in an I formation. 4-man front for the Lee Academy Colts. On 2nd and 10, McKenzie will run a pitch sweep to McMahon, and he gets down to the Lee Academy 45-yard line, gain of about 4 on the play before he's knocked down by the Lee Academy defense.
Tell you, good job that time by Jack Laney, but particularly by Scott Flowers of getting an arm out and tripping up the ball carrier.
3rd down and 6 yards to go for Starkville Academy. They trail 7-0. 8:49 to go in the first half. Wide receivers both ways for Starkville. We're showing blitz. Straight back to throw is McKenzie getting pressure, throws over the middle. It's going to be tipped and almost intercepted by Ivy Dees. Good pressure that time by Bradley Gordon, Richard Lewis, and Jack Laney on McKenzie. Made him get rid of it a little bit quick, and Ivy Dees almost intercepted it.
I think Ivy was just about as surprised as anybody else when that ball came zipping his way. He was playing his defensive role very, very nicely that time. He was in front of the receiver, got his hands up, and just really the ball just hit him in the hands and was gone.
Starkville gets number 40, Jamie Welch, into the football game to kick. And we have Wayne Bolin in the lone safety standing at about his own 15-yard line. Starkville gets a good snap. Welch kicks it away, and it's another end-over-end kick. They're kicking the football away from Bolin, and the football is going to bounce and going to be down very close to the 20-yard line by the Starkville Academy Volunteers. So Starkville got a first down, but was not able to move anymore. Barely penetrated Lee Academy territory. Colts will take over 1st down and 10 yards to go from their own 18-yard line. You think Chuck Taylor's listening to us tonight, Rick?
Cash Money. You know Cash Money's listening to us, and I tell you who else is listening to it. I bet old Chaz is listening to us in that press box out at Crumpton Field. What do you think?
I think he may be. 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts, leading 7-0, 8:18 to go in the first half of the football game. Colts break huddle in a split backfield with Ivy Dees wide left, Wayne Bolin wide right. Duff may be checking off, looking at a 5-man front. We shift into the I formation. He definitely is checking off. And we're going to run the option. He's going to keep it, going to cut inside, and not going to get anything. Number 80 for Starkville, defensive end Brent Turner made a nice play out there and tackled John Duff, along with number 6. Along with number 55, Stanley Hu for the Volunteers. Loss of about a half yard on the play. Second down, 11 yards to go for the Colts. We break huddle with Chris Lively wide left. Ivy D's in the slot to the left. Stone Street close, and Chris Turman deep out of the eye. And Duff on 2nd and 11 sprints to the left to throw. Is looking, breaks outside containment, throws the football complete to Ivy D's. Ivy D's almost broke the tackle. It's going to be drugged down out over the 30-yard line at about the 34. So that really looked to me like Duff's best poise in the pocket all year.
He really did. He hung in there with him under a little bit of pressure. Found Dees, who was not, I don't think, his primary receiver at that time. Looked off the first guy and then found Dees over the middle. Hit him. Very nice. 1st and 10 for the Colts.
7 minutes to go in the first half. Colts in an I formation. Duff's under the center with Lively wide left, George Miller wide right. And they look like they were off sides. There's misdirection to Turman. Turman's going to be tackled short of the 35-yard line at about the 34, going to give him about a 2-yard gain on the play. Second down and 8 yards to go now for the Lee Academy Colts. Leading 7-0. Dip Roberts checked into the game for Chris Lively.
I'm just going to say, I know a lot of our people remember the Starkville team because we played them not once but twice last year.
Second down and 8 for the Colts. Duff with a split backfield, wide receivers both sides. Looking at a 5-man front, going to run the option. Went a lot of trouble. They had it defense well. Going to be thrown for a loss. Good defense that time by Starkville Academy as they had the option defensed well.
Jack Laney, number 63, getting up just a little bit slow that time, but it looks like he's okay. He's back in the huddle.
This is a heat timeout now, so with the heat timeout, we'll take a 1-minute timeout for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. On 3rd and 11 after the heat timeout, Duff is looking. He's going to throw the football. It's going to be caught by tight end Scott Flowers after it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but will bring up 4th down for the league. By tight end Scott Flowers after it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but will bring up 4th down for the Lee Academy Colts. 4th down at about 2 yards to go. He had the 1st down yardage had the football not been tipped, I believe, Rich.
He really did. He was, I think he was across 1st down or just right a step away from it, but the ball was tipped. He had to come back just a little bit. Made a very fine reception from a diving position almost.
So the Colts get Wayne Bolin into the football game to punt. Starkville Academy doesn't think we're going to punt, however, as they've got most of their youngsters up playing defense. Back deep to receive will be Layton. And Wayne Bolin gets a bad snap and is going to pick it up and just going to have to run the football. And Bolin's in a lot of trouble. And he's trying to get outside and was going to get a little bit of yardage back before he's tackled back inside the 30-yard line at the 28. That snap really didn't look that bad to me, Rich.
Looked like it was a fieldable snap. I mean, it was a little high, but it does look like it could have been caught and kicked. I don't know. Maybe once it started getting above his eye level, he just decided, hey, I better bring this one down and run with it a little bit. Big break for Starkville, though. I mean, they get the ball well inside the Colt Colt territory with 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go in halftime, and with all the time that the Colts have had the ball, only have 7 points to show for it.
Colts in a 4-man front. Starkville Academy breaks huddle in a split backfield with wide receivers both ways. McKenzie's under the center, barking out his signals. Going to take the football and sprint to the right to throw. Getting pressure from Middleton, is going to be sacked. Back outside the 40-yard line at about the 42 or 43. So Kerry Middleton, from his defensive tackle position, sacks McKenzie back outside the 40 at the 42. Loss of bunch.
It was a lot. Well, it looks like it's about a loss of about 15 on the play. It brings up second and about 25.
Second down and 25 yards to go for Starkville Academy. The Colt defense has pushed them right back out of the red zone here, and we're lined up in a 4-man front with 4 linebackers, and they look confused. They have a wide receiver to the left and a slot to the left. McKenzie's under the center and is going to take the football and going to look up and going to throw a little screen out here in number 9. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be knocked down after about maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain. Might have given him 4 yards on the play. Good defense out there by Wayne Boland along with Stone Street and Bradley Gordon for the Lee Academy Colts.
Good job that time by the Colts of sniffing out a somewhat funny-looking formation. They just kind of everything was strong side right, and he went back with a quick pass to the left.
Gain of 3 on the play. 3rd down and 22 yards to go for Stark. 3:29 to go in the first half. We've been playing 35 minutes.
Absolutely. This is really, really fast moving.
Starkville on 3rd and 22. Line up in a split backfield. Wide receivers 2 to the left. And McKenzie sprints to the right. Is just going to run a straight bootleg, and Kerry Middleton's got him by the jersey, and he's going to break loose, but he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. He's going to gain about 3 or 4 on the play, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Kerry Middleton that time thought he really had him, and he did. He just had him at the jersey or around the shoulder pass, but McKenzie's a pretty good-sized young man, was able to kind of shake it off and keep going, but he was running laterally toward the sidelines all the time, so it brings up 4th down and 22.
Colts get their punt receiving team into the football game. Number 40, Jamie Welch, will be standing just inside of his own territory, and Wayne Boland and Bradley Gordon are both standing at about the 12. The Colts going to try to return this one. Welch gets a good snap and gets the kick away, and it's a good kick that Bradley Gordon is going to fair catch at the 10. So the Colts will take over 1st down and 10 yards to go from their own 10, 2:54 to go in the first half. Colts leading 7-0. Colt offense still looking sluggish, Rich.
They really are. They're just not gelling. It's kind of like it was last week when we made 2 or 3 good plays, positive plays, and then we'd look like we'd back up a play or 2, and just needs to really get gelling and really get clicking.
Wayne Boland goes wide to the right. Ivy Dees is wide to the left. Terman is deep. Stone Street's close side of the I formation. And Andrew Duff's under the center looking at a 5-man front. We're going to run the option. There's a pitch out here to Terman. Terman's at the corner. He's into the secondary. Chris Terman looking for one more block. Is going to get it. Is going to stumble out over the 30-yard line to about the 35. So a good run by Chris Terman with 2:40. And Andrew Duff's under the center looking at a 5-man front. We're going to run the option. There's a pitch. Out over the 30-yard line to about the 35, so a good run by Chris Turman with 2:43 to go in the first half. Colts will have great field position out over the 35-yard line at the 36, first down and 10.
Chris Turman doing a good job getting to the corner and just really ran the last 5 yards almost with one hand on the ground for balance.
Wide receivers both ways for the Colts. Straight back to throws Duff. Looking, ducks under a sack. Now he's going to scramble out of the pocket. Looking for one block. Is going to get it into Starkville Academy territory. Breaks a tackle, almost fumbles the football, but holds on as he runs inside of the Starkville Academy's 40.
And the last 5 yards almost with one hand on the ground for balance.
Wide receivers both ways for the Colts. Straight back to going to get it into Starkville Academy territory, breaks a tackle, almost fumbles the football, but holds on as he runs inside of the Starkville Academy's 45-yard line down to the 42. So Andrew Duff showing some strength.
I'm going to tell you, Andrew Duff at time looked like he was fixing to have his head taken off in the backfield, and all of a sudden just lost his head there. It pops up right up in the middle of the field. Doing a good job of running the ball, too.
Looked like Ichabod Crane there for a minute, didn't he?
Looked like he had lost his head.
Split backfield for the Colts. Wide receivers both ways. 5-man front for Starkville. We're going to run the outside handoff there to Gordon, and he was a step away from carrying it the distance. Nice tackle out there by number 27 for Starkville Academy, Rob Mishner, the strong safety. Gain of about 2 on the play, 2nd and 8.
Like you said, Duff did a good job that time of getting the ball to Gordon, and Gordon was just a step away from breaking it to the promised land.
Boy, this could be a 21-0 game. Easy, Rich. 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Colts, but it's not. Split backfield, and we're going to run the inside handoff again to Gordon, and Gordon is going to get a couple of yards, and we're going to have a timeout. The Lee Academy Colts are going to call timeout. 1:34 to go in the half. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football.
Albert, we want to make sure everybody stays around halftime. We're going to have the
Lee Academy Stampede
Lee Academy
show.
Stampede halftime show.
Flowers.
And we're also going to have a couple of live interviews from some former players. Mr. Clay Dabbs will be live with us, and Mr. Phil Dodrell.
So 1:34 to go in the first half. Colts break huddle. Send Wayne Bolin wide to the left. Ivy D is in the slot to the left on 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Split backfield now behind Duff. 5-man front for Starkville. And they're going to run the outside handoff to Gordon. Gordon's not going to get the first down. Going to be stopped short by about 3 yards and brings up 4th down. The Colts will go for this, I'm sure, with 1:22 to go. Colts have called 2 plays in the huddle. On 4th down, Colts once again have Bolin wide left, D slot left. 4th down and 3 yards to go. Straight back to throws Duff, getting pressure. Throws it out here. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for Wayne Bolin, and Starkville Academy will take over. So we're breaking down on them crucial plays, Rich.
Well, I tell you again, we've held the ball a long time in the second quarter, just like we did in the first quarter, and the margin that we are looking at right at this moment is 7 points. And I tell you don't need to do that too many times before the opposition really starts feeling like, hey, we can play this game.
Minute 5 to go in the half. Colts have it. Colts go on defense. Starkville Academy breaks huddle with wide receivers both ways and backs in an eye. Colts in a 4-man front. McKenzie, with 1:05 to go, is going to run going to fake an inside handoff, looking in a lot of trouble. John Martin Harris was all over him, and he just threw it away. 58 seconds to go in the first half. Looks like Matt Sanders is going to be on our halftime show too, Rich.
All right. Might have all the starters from last year.
Flag is down on the play. Youngster shaking up for Starkville Academy is number 28, Rod McMahon. They're asking for the captain for the Lee Academy coach, so apparently this penalty will be against Starkville. Talking to Jack Laney, who has not been out of play, I might add. Played every down. 2nd down and 10. Did you see what the penalty was?
No, I never saw what the penalty was, but I did watch Jack Laney
decline it.
He declined it, but he also was the instigator of this timeout for the little injury down here. He just laid that boy out a little while ago.
McMahon will come off under his own power. 2nd down and 10 yards to go with 58 seconds to go in the first half.
I don't have the field play in my vision area yet.
Clay, you think this was designed by the Ole Miss Engineering Department or the Mississippi State Engineering Department? Say, right here, it's got a great view of the field here. 4-man front for Lee, and they give the football to Layton, and he's going to be drugged back. Going to get out very close to the 40-yard line, but it's going to be stopped short of the 40. Tackled by Scott Flowers, along with Jack Laney. 3rd down and 7 yards to go for Starkville. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Starkville's got to feel really good, just trailing 7-0.
No question about that at all. Going into halftime, only behind 7 points. For as little bit of the time that their offense has been on the field.
3rd and 7 for the Volunteers. 20 seconds to go in the first half. They're just going to try to let the clock run out. 12 seconds, clock is running. Now they're going to run one more play, it looks like, on 3rd down. And there's a flag, going to be delay. 5 seconds to go now in the half. Delay of the game against Starkville. That'll be a 5-yard step off. Will make it 3rd down and 12 yards to go. And this will be the final play of the first half, barring a penalty on the Lee Academy Colts.
Only 45 minutes ago that this ball game started.
Been playing
we're halfway through
minutes, and we're halfway through. Starkville breaks huddle, sends a wide receiver to both ways, and they line up in an I formation. Colt defense playing a little soft now. McKenzie's under the center with 5 seconds to go in the first half. We'll fake it, going to run the sweep, getting to the outside, and Jack Laney is going to knock him out of bounds at the 40. First half is over. The Lee Academy Colts lead 7-0. Should be worse. So Wayne Bolin has the football teed up at the 40-yard line, and back to deep to receive for Starkville Academy will be number 5, John Layton. So the Colts dominated the first half of the football game, time of possession, offensive plays, and stats, but only leads 7-0. Starkville Academy held on and did a really, I think Rich did a good job in the first half. They could have crumbled, but did not. So we'll have to wait and see how the Colts come out and start this second half. Wayne Bolden has it teed up at the 40, and Layton standing at about his 8. And Wayne Bolden gets the football. It's going to be fielded at the 20. And number 9 is going to get, and this time Chris Walker is going to bring him down inside the 25-yard line to the 24. So a good play by Chris Walker, number 30, on the Lee Academy Colt defensive kickoff team. And Starkville takes over first down and 10 yards to go inside their 25 at the 24. Colt defense gets onto the football field. McKenzie, the quarterback for Starkville Academy, will bring his Chargers out, and they'll send wide receivers to the right and to the left. And they're in an I formation with Layton close and McMahon deep, and McKenzie looking at a four-man Lee Academy front. Barking out his signals, may be checking off. They're going to give the football to Layton, and Layton's right up the middle, gets a block, he's into the secondary, and now reverses his field, and is going to run the football inside of Lee Academy's territory down to the 46-yard line. So number 5. And now reverses his field and is going to run the football inside of Lee Academy's territory down to the 46-yard line. So number 5 for Starkville Academy, John Layton, runs the football inside of Lee Academy territory at the 46. Starkville has it first down and 10 yards to go from that point.
Layton did a good job getting the ball downfield that time. I'm going to tell you, he paid for it on that tackle, though, because he was hit right in the side of his hip, and he got up a little bit limping.
They line up in an I formation again, and Colts in a four-man front. And they're going to give the football to the tailback, and he's going to get stopped. Maybe got a yard on the play. If on Layton's run, I sounded like I was stuttering and stammering. It's kind of hard to see through this window.
You just have to be here to understand exactly what we're talking about.
This is kind of an inside joke.
Yeah,
folks.
this press box has 3 windows, and they're all 2 feet wide. So
it's sort of like watching a football game through a keyhole. Is what it is.
Well, it's kind of like being in an aquarium and watching the fishes, one of those big aquariums with the portholes, and you just see a fish every so often. That's about what you see with the football players.
Starkville Academy breaks huddle in an I formation with wide receivers both ways. Coach staying in their four-man front. McKenzie on second down and 10 yards to go. Maybe checking off, straight back in the pocket to throw. This time gets great protection and throws. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for number 9 out there. That's Kager Garner. Defending out there was Bradley Gordon along with Bolin, and they knocked the football away. Starkville people think they might have got there a little bit quick, but it's hard to see from over here. It brings up third down and 9 yards to go for the third and 10 for Starkville Academy. They break huddle and send wide receivers both ways. And out of the I formation, McKenzie once again will be looking at a Lee Academy four-man front. We may blitz this time, but we're not. Doesn't look like. McKenzie straight back to throw again. Once again getting great protection. Throws the football deep down the field. It's going to be incomplete. Intended down there for number 40 for Starkville. That's Jamie Welch, a wide receiver. Football was overthrown just a little bit. And Starkville Academy will be forced to punt on their first possession after getting one first down on a nice run by John Layton. So it's 4th and 10, and they have Jamie Welch in the football game, and he'll stand just inside of his own 45-yard line at about the 42 or 43. Wayne Bolin and Bradley Gordon are deep for the Colts. Awaiting the snap on 4th and 10. Colts may be trying to block it. They're not, though, and a good kick again by Welch. It's going to be a high kick that Gordon's just going to get away from. It's going to take a Lee Academy Colt bounce out over the 20-yard line and going to be down at about the 23. So the Colts will take over first down and 10 yards to go from their own 23-yard line. They lead in the football game 7-0 with 10:04 to go in the third period.
Time to see if we can get the Colts offense kind of gelling now, Albert. Take the second half. Did a pretty good job defensively on the first series for the Starkville Volunteers. Now let's see if offensively we can get going. Offensive
front for the Colts is Laney, John Martin Harris, Middleton, Lewis, and Jonathan Poole. And we're going to run the outside handoff out here to Stoney Stonestreet. He's into the secondary and fights his way out over the 35-yard line at about the 38 or the 39 before he's knocked down by Starkville Academy.
Tell you the thing you like about Stonestreet, he's not the fastest one that we've got in the backfield, but he's a determined runner. He just grinds those legs and just does a magnificent job of just keeping his balance and moving forward all the time.
First down and 10 yards to go for Lee Academy from their own 39-yard line. Duff under the center with a split backfield, Stonestreet and Gordon. And we're going to give the football to Stone Street again. He's out over the 45-yard line at about the 46 or 47 before McKenzie, number 11, one of the cornerbacks, knocks him down, brings up second down and 2 yards to go. It looks like the Colts have made their mind up to run straight ahead against this Starkville Academy defense.
Run the Stone Street play twice, running consecutively, the same play, identical play. Stoney's done a good job of getting a first down and then picking up 8 yards that time, bringing up 2nd and 2 with 8:40 to go in the third quarter.
Duff's under the center. Stone Street and Gordon are split. Wide receivers are both on this side, which is the left side. We're going to give the football on the inside. No, Duff's going to keep it, going to fake it, going to cut inside, and going to get inside of Starkville Academy's territory, inside of the 35-yard line, down to about the 31. So that time, Duff just kept the ball, did not give it to Stone Street, and cut inside, and picked up good yardage inside of Starkville Academy's 35-yard line down to the 32. 1st and 10 for the Colts. Chris Lively will go wide to the left. George Miller will be in the slot to the left. We're lined up on the tight end on the right-hand side, and looks like Turman and Gordon now are split behind Duff, and Duff's going to give the football to Gordon, and Gordon's not going to get much. Looked like Andrew might have tried to take that thing out, Rich, and Bradley wouldn't let him have it.
I believe Bradley had already clamped the ball, and Andrew couldn't get it back, and they just got kind of tied up in a ball. Picked up about 2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 8.
2nd down and 8 yards to go for the Lee Academy Colts. Wayne Bolin goes wide to the left. George Miller's in the slot to the left. Turman and Gordon are split behind Duff, and they're in a 5-man front. And we're going to run the inside handoff trap to Turman. He gets first down yardage inside of the 25-yard line down to about the 20-yard line before he's knocked down. First down for the Lee Academy Colts at the 20. Colts have run outside the tackles one time on this drive.
And that was a keeper by Andrew Duff where he faked it to Stone Street in the middle and just went around the side. Offensive line doing a good job right now moving the Starkville boys out of the way.
Duff with Gordon and Turman, and we're going to have a timeout. Timeout is on the field for Starkville Academy. We're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt Football. Minus 3 plus 3. 20. Good drive for the Colts after taking over from their own 24. They've moved the football deep into Starkville Academy territory, and this is where we put the brakes on tonight, is inside the 20. 1st and 10 for the Colts, split backs behind Duff. Tight end is on the right-hand side. We're going to run, going to fake it, and we're going to pitch the ball to Turman on the option. Turman's at the corner. He's going to get first down yardage inside of the 10-yard line down to about the 8. Good job by Andrew Duff reading on the option. Bradley Rybolt's a little slow getting up, walking gingerly on his right ankle. First down and goal to go for the Lee Academy Colts from the 8. First and goal from the 8 for the Lee Academy Colts. Stone Street gets into the football game, taking out Gordon. And the Colts break huddle and sends Bip Roberts wide to the right. George Miller is wide to the left. And Stone Street and Turman are split behind Duff, and we're going to give the football to Stone. No, he's going to fake it to Stone Street and going to keep it inside of the 5-yard line down to about the 4. Good job of faking by Andrew Duff. Of course, when you're looking through this keyhole, it's hard sometimes to tell who's got the football.
I'm up here at the door now, Albert.
2nd down and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Colts get Jeff Basler into the football game to play the second tight end, which means we'll go to a wishbone formation. I tell you, the stats of this game are going to look like a 40-0 game, but the Colts only lead 7-0. 5:52 to go in the third quarter. Duff's under the center. He's going to run a pitch sweep to Gordon, trying to get to the corner, gets one block. He's going to be tackled. It's just short of the goal line at about the 1. Some of the Colts look tired out there, Rich.
Well, I tell you, the offensive team has been on the field so long tonight that I'm sure that they are tired. You can't stay on the field as long as they've been on there without beginning to feel some effects of it. It's just like defensively, when your defense stays out there so long, they soon wear down.
3rd down and goal to go from the 1 for the Lee Academy Colts. Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Colts will be in a wishbone. Stone Street will be the fullback. Bradley Gordon and Chris Turman will be the halfbacks. Bolin and Scott Flowers are the tight ends. And Duff is going to give the football to Gordon, and he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Good drive by the Lee Academy Colts. They just took it and rammed it right down Starkville's throat and drove the football 76 yards for a touchdown, and they lead 13-0 with 4:57 to go in the 3rd period. And Ivy D's will tee the football up at the 10-yard line.
They soon wear down.
3rd down and goal to go from the 1 for the Lee Academy Colts. Jack Laney leads the offensive line out. Colts will be in a wishbone. Stone Street will be the fullback. Bradley Gordon and Chris Turman will be the halfbacks. Bolin and Scott Flowers are the end zone for a touchdown. Good drive by the Lee Academy Colts. They just took it and rammed it right down Starkville's throat and drove the football 76 yards for a touchdown, and they lead 13-0 with 4:57 to go in the 3rd period. And Ivy D's will tee the football up at the 10-yard line. Jack Laney will snap and George Miller will hold, and Ivy will try to put the 14th point on the board for the Lee Academy Colts.
One of the better drives this year that we've seen the Colts sustain, that 76-yarder just then.
Good job by senior quarterback Andrew Duff running the option. And Duff and Dees will kick the football away, and it will be good. It wasn't pretty, but it got through. Lee Academy leads 14-0. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colts football. John Layton will get deep for the Starkville Academy Volunteers, and Wayne Bolin has the football teed up at the 40, awaiting the referee's whistle. Wayne Bolin getting his kicking band, holding the toe of his shoe up. And the referee's whistle blows. And Bolin approaches and gets the football away, and it's going to be a good kick. It's going to be fielded by Layton at the 8. They're going to run a reverse, but he's in a lot of trouble. It's Chris Walker and number 16, Andy Harris, down there for the Colts. Doing a good job. Russell Harris also. So Andy Harris, Chris Walker, and Russell Harris all doing a good job for the Lee Academy Colt coverage team, and they tackle them back inside the 15-yard line at about the 11. Colts get their defense back into the football game, leading 14-0. 4:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Starkville breaks huddle, sends wide receivers right and left, and they line up in an I formation. Colts still in their 4-man front. McKenzie looking over Lee Academy's defense. Colts have now gone to a 5-man front. And McKenzie is going to run the option, going to pitch it out here at 31, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. Good play out there by Lee Academy's Wayne Bolin, along with number 7, Ivy Dees, and number 88, Scott Flowers for the Colts. All doing a good job. Bradley Gordon also, I believe it was Bradley that made the first hit, wasn't it, Rich?
It was Bradley. He did a real fine job that time, just stringing that play out, running laterally, and, there was nowhere to go but to the sidelines.
Looks like the Colts have gone to a 5-man front.
They have.
Now we are definitely in a 5-man front with 2 linebackers and 4 defensive backs now. And McKenzie on 2nd down and 11, looking at the Lee Academy 5-man fronts, drops back to throw and throws the football deep downfield. It's going to be caught out here by number 9, Kager Garner. As coach looked like they had coverage on him, Rich, but didn't break on the ball. And the Starkville Academy Volunteers will have it 1st and 10 from their 38.
Well, there's no question that they had the coverage on him. They're running stride for stride with him, but as you said, they just didn't break on the ball. And it was a pretty easy reception as far as Starkville goes. Gets them way out of a hole. Gives them new life up there at their own 37-yard line with about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
1st down and 10 yards to go for Starkville after a nice completion from McKenzie to Garner. Colts staying in their 5-man front. And McKenzie maybe checking off. Is going to fake, going to run it on the option, get it out here to number 31. And number 31 is going to be knocked down after maybe 2 or 3 yard pickup. Christian Preuss along with Wayne Bolin make a nice play.
I tell you, the excellent speed that Wayne Bolin possesses really came to play in that one, because he almost came out of nowhere. Starkville had almost made the turn on the corner, and Bolin was there to slice in and take him down.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7 for Starkville. The Colts now go back to a 4-man front with 4 linebackers. McKenzie's under the center in an I formation. And he's back in the pocket to throw, looking to end. This time Lewis and them are putting pressure, and he just throws it away. Scott Flowers and Jack Laney on the coverage down here, covering the tight end. Wayne Bolin and Christian Preuss covering the deep man, number 81, Ashley Harris. Brings up 3rd down and 7 yards to go for Starkville Academy.
No question that was just going to be a throwaway, because the Colts had good defense on that one. He just threw it for the trainer's table there with the Gatorade.
Kerry Middleton and Russell Harris are in at defensive tackles now. Kerry Middleton and John Martin Harris are playing defensive ends. Russell Harris and Richard Lewis are playing defensive tackles in the 4-man Lee Academy front. They have 2 wide receivers to the left, and McKenzie fakes to the tailback and throws it. It's going to be caught out here by the tight end. The Colts had good coverage again, but number 82, Edward Kemp, just makes a good play, goes up and gets the football, and 1st down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Volunteers. 2:12 to go in the 3rd period. Colts on top 14-0.
Good pass, good catch that time amongst 3 green helmeted Colts. You can't say anything more than that was just a good play by the Starkville Volunteers.
They send 2 wide receivers to the left, and Layton and number 31 is Matthew Shook are in the I formation behind McKenzie. Colts still in a 4-man front, and they're going to give the football to Shook, and he's not going to get much, as he's going to get inside of Lee Academy Colt territory just by a couple of yards, gets down to about the 48-yard line. Let's give him about 2 on the play, make it 2nd down and 8. 1:31 to go in the 3rd period. Extremely fast-moving football game.
Starkville showing signs of their first really good possession of the game.
Starkville has 2 wide receivers to the left, and then the I formation. McKenzie is under the center. Colts in a 4-man front, not showing blitz. And they're going to give the football, going to fake it, going to run the option, and McKenzie is going to get inside the 40-yard line down to about the 39. So a good run by number 11, Brad McKenzie, gets the 1st down yardage inside of Lee Academy Colts 40 down to the 39. 1st and 10 for the Volunteers from that point. Bradley Rybolt takes out Russell Harris at one of the defensive tackle positions. 58 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. When you don't throw many passes, Rich, and all you do is run, the game goes by quick.
You could be through in a hurry, can't you?
Starkville in the I formation. Colts still in the 4-man front. Starkville's got wide receivers both sides now. And McKenzie is going to give the football on the inside handoff to Layton. Layton's into the Lee Academy Colts secondary inside of the 35-yard line before he's knocked down at the 31. Gain of about 8 or 9 on the play. 2nd down, let's call it 2 yards, maybe closer to 1.5.
Tell you, Layton's a good little running back. He's got good speed. He's got good moves, good ability to move laterally when he needs to avoid some defender. Nice-looking runner.
Third quarter's fixing to be over. Lee Academy Colts are going to be on top 14-0. We're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. On the first play of the fourth quarter, Brad McKenzie is going to take the football in the option and run into the end zone for a touchdown. Brad McKenzie, number 11, runs the football into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Lee Academy Colts 14-0 lead shrinks to 14-6. As they'll get their extra point kicker, number 7, into the football game, David Wamble. And he'll tee the football up at the 10-yard line to attempt to get Starkville Academy's 7th point of the night.
Good effort that time by McKenzie. Just took the ball on his own, had no intention of doing anything but going wide to the right. Got on the sidelines and just outran everybody from Lee Academy.
Womble has the football teed up at the 10. The holder is number 9, Kager Garner. And Colts lead 14-6, trying to keep it that way. A little high snap, pulled down nicely. The kick is away. The kick is no good, wide to the right. Colts lead 14-6. We're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. For the Starkville Academy Volunteers, Scott Wilbanks will handle the kicking. He has it teed up at the 40. Bradley Gordon and Wayne Bolin are deep, along with Chris Walker and Christian Preuss. Christian and Chris are standing at about the 20. The football is going to be fielded by Chris Walker, and he's coming back to the left looking for a block. He's going to cut up field and going to run the football out over the 35-yard line to about the 37 before he's knocked down. So a good run by number 30, sophomore tailback Chris Walker, 150-pound running back. Colts take it first down and 10 yards to go from their own 36-yard line, clinging to a 14-6 lead.
Third quarter for this ball game, we saw both Lee Academy and Starkville probably put together their two best, no question about it, two best drives of this game. Lee Academy looked good for perhaps the first time this season on a sustained drive.
Out of the I formation, wide receivers both ways for the Colts. First down and 10 yards to go. Duff sprints to the right to throw, looking, in trouble, and he's going to throw the football, and he's going to fumble the football. No, he's going to call it, no, they're going to call it a fumble. Starkville Academy takes over. First down and 10 yards to go as they have recovered the football inside of Lee Academy's 30 at the 28-yard line. So Lee Academy's defense needs to buckle up here as we lead only 14-6. Plenty of time, 11-19 to go in the football game. Defense needs to get tough, Rich.
Oh, they really do. And, of course, they didn't play much the first half, so they need to come on out and be fired up now. They're giving the Starkville Volunteers a real opportunity to get right back into this ball game.
First down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Academy. Lee Academy Colts in a 5-man front now with 2 linebackers. McKenzie, looking at the Lee Academy Colt defense, will take the football out of the I formation and give it to the tailback, number 31, and shooks off right tackle and runs the football inside of the 25-yard line down to about the 22 or the 23. Starkville Academy's got a little momentum going, Rich.
May not be a bad time for Coach Weiss to look over and call a timeout just to kind of slow things down a little bit, get the timing off a little bit, because there's no question in our minds watching this game that the old Mo has jumped on the Volunteers' back.
Gain of 5 on the play. Second down and 5 yards to go for Starkville Academy. 10.5 minutes to go in the football game. They send wide receivers both ways, and out of the I formation, McKenzie. Looking at a 5-man Lee Academy front with 2 linebackers, and Starkville's going to call timeout. Timeout is on the field with 2nd and 5. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. Second down and 5 yards to go for the Starkville Academy Volunteers. 10-19 to go in the football game. Starkville trails 14-6, but they're on a drive deep in Colt territory. Colts in a 5-man front with 2 linebackers, and McKenzie's under the center. Barking out his signals. He's straight back in the pocket to throw. Looking in the end zone, throws the football down the end zone. It's going to be intercepted and dropped by Ivy Dees in the end zone. Looked like D's had it for a minute, Rich, and then just went out of his arms.
I couldn't really tell, Albert, from where we were right here, if he was, going to be able to keep the ball, have control of the ball in the end zone without stepping across the line or not. But it did look like it was a catchable ball, but he just let it slip on through.
3rd down and 5 yards to go for Starkville Academy, trailing 14-6, 10-13 to go in the football game. They break huddle in the I formation with wide receivers on both ways. McKenzie's under the center. Lee Academy coach still in a 5-man front with 2 linebackers. McKenzie going to run the option this time, Rich, I believe. And they're going to run the option. McKenzie is going to pitch it out here to the tailback, Shook. Shook's into the Lee Academy coach secondary, gets first down yardage inside of the 20-yard line down to about the 16-yard line before he's knocked down by Lee Academy over there. So Starkville Academy has spotted something on the Lee Academy defense, Rich, and they are exploiting it.
They're doing a good job. I tell you, you can't take away from the fact that Starkville is looking a much improved ball team offensively this half than they looked the first half. Obviously so because they've had the ball more, but they did a good. McKenzie is doing a good job with the option play. I think he's holding the backs just enough to give him an opportunity to get wide.
1st down and 10 yards to go for Starkville. 9:43 to go in the football game. Out of the I formation once again. McKenzie's under the center. Coach still in a 5-man front. McKenzie straight back to throw. Once again, no pressure. Throws it down. It's going to be dropped. Number 9 had it for a minute. It looked like.
I'm going to tell you what, Ivy D's did a heck of a job.
And once again, McKenzie's under the center. Coach still in a 5-man front. McKenzie straight back to throw. Once again, no pressure. Blocked. Number 9 had it for a minute. It looked like.
I'm going to tell you what, Ivy D's did a heck of a job that time, though, defensively, because about the time the ball arrived, Ivy was there. And Ivy hit him pretty hard, and that might have
jarred the football
loose.
2nd down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Academy. 14-6 is the score. 9.5 minutes to go in the football game. Starkville Academy breaks huddle and sends a wide receiver to the left. They're going to send 3 wide receivers to the left. They're in a trips formation to the right. And now they're having a lot of trouble, as they just have a youngster walk off, and they got to use another timeout. Starkville Academy's got to use a timeout. Timeout's on the field. Colts lead 14-6. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. Second down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Academy Colts for the Starkville Academy Volunteers from the Lee Academy Colts 16-yard line. They break huddle and send 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 wide receiver to the left. They have 1 running back. That's Layton, and he is behind McKenzie. Colts in a 4-man front, and McKenzie's barking out his signals. He's going to fake the football and throw it to the tight end. He's going to just drop it. Number 82, Edward Kemp, just dropped it. Brings up 3rd down and 10 yards to go for Starkville. They trail 14-6.
You sometimes have to wonder when a team is doing as well as Starkville has done in this half, running the ball, why all of a sudden when they get down close to the promised land, they start throwing the ball a lot. Who knows that answer?
14-6 is the score. And they send 2 wide receivers to the left, and they line back up in the I formation. This time they're going to run the option, I bet. On 3rd down and 10 yards to go, McKenzie looking at the Lee Academy Colt 5-man front, going to run the option, pitch it out here to Shook. Shook is trying to get to the secondary, but Wayne Bolden's going to run him down. Going to get about 2 yards, and that's all. They're going to bring up 4th down and 8 yards to go for the Starkville Academy Volunteers from the Lee Academy Colt 13-yard line.
Wayne Bolden again showing that speed that he has that just was able to negate what looked like it might be a pretty big play for the Volunteers into just a 2-yard gain. And like you said, with 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go in this ball game, gives them 4th down and about 8 yards to go.
This is a big play here for the Starkville Academy Volunteer offense and for the Lee Academy Colt defense. And once again, Starkville Academy looks confused. Now they have trip receivers in the game, 2 to the right and 1 to the left, and they got one lone running back behind McKenzie, and they're close to delay a game now. McKenzie barking out his signals, looking over the Lee Academy Colt 4-man front, straight back in the pocket to throw. Throws it's going to be caught, but it's going to be short of the first down, I believe, by about a yard.
He's spotting the ball right on the 5-yard line, and I think the ball had to go to about the, looks like to me about the 4-yard line. So it looks like he's going to be short about a yard, maybe 2 yards.
Well, they're going to measure anyway to see, but I think the quarterback McKenzie was shaking his head like they did not have it. We'll wait and let them stretch the chains out here, and it's short. Lee Academy Colts take over, first down and 10 yards to go from their own 5-yard line.
Good play that time, but we just didn't, the volunteers just didn't, they needed one more step before that ball was thrown, and it would have been caught, I believe, for a first down had he waited just another step or 2.
First and 10 for the Lee Academy Colts. We get Andrew Duff into the football game, desperately needing to move the football. And we're going to line up in a 2 tight end wishbone set. Stone Street and Gordon and Turman are in the wishbone formation behind senior quarterback Duff. And they're in a 5-man front. And we're going to give it off right tackle to Bradley Gordon. And Bradley Gordon's going to fight loose. And Bradley Gordon is, they're going to blow the whistle dead back at the 6-yard line. Your quarterback Duff, and they're in a 5-man front, and we're going to give it off right tackle to Bradley Gordon, and Bradley Gordon's going to fight loose, and Bradley Gordon. And they're in a 5-man front, and we're going to give it off right tackle to Bradley Gordon, and Bradley Gordon's going to fight loose, and Bradley Gordon is, they're going to blow the whistle dead back at the 6-yard line. Never did have him on the ground, Rich, but the official blew the whistle. Apparently thought his forward progress had stopped.
Well, his forward progress had stopped at the 6. He actually broke loose about the 4-yard line, to tell you the truth. Like he never was on the ground. But the whistle blew. The official called it to a halt right there. Make it 2nd and 9 with 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go in this game.
Wayne Bolin checks into the game for Jeff Basler at one of the tight ends positions out of the wishbone formation. Colts break huddle in the wishbone again. 2 tights, 5-man front for Starkville Academy. And here's a pitch sweep to Turman. Turman trying to get to the corner is going to be tackled. Might have even lost a yard on the play. Starkville did a good job on defense. And the Colt offense is struggling tonight, Rich.
They're struggling right at this moment. They've had one good drive, and that was in the third quarter.
3rd down and 9 yards to go for the Colts. 6:40 to go in the football game.
Big play here. They need to get, if they don't get a first down, they need to get away from that goal line a little bit because, as you know, our punting game is always an adventure, as you call it.
We break huddle and send. We have 2 tight ends now in a wishbone formation. Colts look tired, Rich. Duff's under center. Stone Street, Turman, and Gordon are the running backs in the wishbone. And we're going to give it off tackle to Gordon, and Gordon is going to fight over close to the 10-yard line, going to gain about 4 yards on the play, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So the Colts will get their punting team into the football game. That'll be Wayne Bolin. Snapping will be Jack Laney. And Wayne will be standing inside the end zone to punt this football away.
They're going to have about 5.5 minutes left to play in this ball game after this punt, and Starkville is going to have excellent field position when it's their time to move the ball.
They get John Layton back along with number 9, Kager Garner, and Wayne Bolin gets a good snap and gets the kick away. And it's an end-over-end kick that's going to bounce, going to take a Lee Academy bounce, and Layton just going to run out of bounds with it. Inside out over the 40-yard line of the 42, so a good punt by Wayne.
Under the circumstances, an excellent punt by Wayne. 5.5 minutes to go in this ball game, Albert. Starkville takes over 1st and 10 moving the ball from the Colt 42-yard line.
We have a heat timeout now. With a heat timeout on the field, we're going to pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. We think Washington didn't know this too. First down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Academy. They have it inside of Lee Academy Colt territory at the 42-yard line. They trail by 8, 14-6. They break color in an I formation with wide receivers both ways. The Lee Academy Colts are going to be in a 5-man front with 2 linebackers. McKenzie's under the center out of the I formation. And he's going to run the option. And they're going to pitch it, and they're going to fumble it. And the youngster's not going to get it, and the Lee Academy Colts are going to get it. I believe Wayne Bolin came up with the football, and the Lee Academy Colts are going to get it. So they've been running the option all night, Rich, and lightning struck that time as the youngster just fumbled the football. Number 31, Matthew Shook, and Wayne Bolin, talk about that great speed, Rich, was back there on it and jerked it away, and the Colts have it first down and 10 yards to go inside of Starkville Academy's territory at the 49, 5:23 to go in the football game.
Tremendous break for the Colts that time, was able to force that fumble, putting pretty good pressure on it, defending that option pretty good that time, where they'd been lax just a series before and letting the Volunteers run the option quite well on them.
Split backfield for the Colts. Wide receivers both to the left side. It's Bolin and Dees. 5-man front for Starkville. And we're going to run the inside handoff to Gordon. Gordon is going to break a tackle and going to be drugged down, though. Did not break the tackle as he held on to him. But he's going to get about 5 yards down to about the 45-yard line in Starkville Academy territory. Let's give him 4 yards on the play. Second down and 6.
Just as important as those 5 yards or 4 yards that he picked up is the fact that clock is running.
I'm sorry, Rich.
I was just going to say the clock is running, and that's a tremendous ally to the Colts right now.
Colts break huddle and send Wayne Bolin wide left. Ivy Dees will slot left. Stone Street's close, and Terman's deep out of the I formation. Tight end Flowers is lined up on the right-hand side. We bring motion back to the right. Ivy Dees, and we're going to run the option. And Andrew Duff's going to keep it and going to fight down close to the 40-yard line. Before he's knocked down, going to pick up about 4 yards on the play and going to make it third down and 2. So good read that time by Andrew Duff. Just cuts the ball upfield, picks up about 4 yards and makes it third and 2. Clock's running, 3:53 to go in the football game. Colts break huddle and send Wayne Bolin wide to the right. George Miller will be in the slot to the right. And split backs now behind Duff. Tight end is lined up on the left-hand side. 6-man front for Starkville. We give the football to Stone Street. Stone Street just barrels over left tackle and gets inside the 35-yard line down to and split backs now behind Duff. Tight end is lined up on the left-hand side. 6-man. Left tackle and gets inside the 35-yard line down to they're going to spot it right on the 35-yard line, and that'll be first down yardage for the Lee Academy Colts. 3:26 now to go in the football game. Clock is still running. Football game's less than 2 hours old and it's almost over.
1 hour and 47 minutes old.
Colts break huddle. Chris Lively goes wide to the left. George Miller goes wide to the right. Stone Street and Terman are split behind Duff. 5-man front now for Starkville. And they're going to give we fumble the football and Starkville Academy gets on it. Lee Academy Colts fumble the football. Starkville Academy gets on it back at the 40-yard line, and they'll take over on offense right there. Starkville Academy has been a different football team the second half.
No
Rich.
question about it. Well, I think like we alluded to in some of our comments, to be totally outplayed in the first half and be only 7 points behind.
Had to pump them up a little bit.
Had to pump you up a little bit, and they come back now with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the ball game, and one score away from tying this ball game up.
Starkville Academy sends 2 wide receivers to the right. Backs are in a I formation behind McKenzie. They've looked confused on offense all night. McKenzie's under the center. Colts in a 5-man front. Straight back in the pocket to throw. No pressure again. And he throws the football downfield. It's going to be overthrown. Intended for number 9, Kager Garner. Coverage down there by Christian Preuss. McKenzie's got a strong arm.
Very strong arm. He just sat back in the pocket. Like I said, he had absolutely no pressure being applied to him.
Threw that football about 40 yards in the air.
Absolutely. Overthrew his intended receiver.
Second down and 10 yards to go for Starkville Academy, trailing 14-6 with 2:28 to go in the football game. They break huddle, send 2 wide receivers to the right, and the backs line up in an I formation. Colts are in a 5-man front. Russell Harris is in the football game at nose tackle now for the Colts. And Scott Flowers and Stone Street are the inside linebackers. McKenzie straight back to throw, getting a little pressure now. Sets a screen up over here to 82. And Ivy Dees and Scott Flowers are going to knock him down out over the 45-yard line to about the 47-yard line. Pickup of about 7 on the play. Make it 3rd down and 3 yards to go for Starkville.
I don't really understand why the clock stopped on that play. There's no first down. No, ball did not go out of bounds.
2:28. Clock will stop for some reason. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. They break huddle and send 2 wide receivers to the right and out of the I formation. Layton is close and Shook is deep. And the Colts in a 4-man front now. And they're going to run the option this way. McKenzie's going to get to the corner. He's going to be knocked out of bounds just inside of Lee Academy Colt territory at the 49. Very close to first down yardage. Ivy D's over defending for the Colts.
I believe they probably have the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Volunteers just inside Lee Academy territory on the 49 with 2:02 left in this ball game.
Nose of the football, it's about 1 football length into Lee Academy Colt territory, so they're 50 yards away from the potential tying score. They've got to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Colts look tired, Rich.
They themselves have played a lot of defense this half.
Starkville Academy breaks huddle, and they're in a I formation with wide receivers both ways. McKenzie. He's going to run the inside handoff to Layton. He's going to fight inside of Lee Academy Colts 45-yard line down to about the 44. So the Starkville Academy Volunteers doing a good job up front now. And he picks up about 6 yards on the play, make it 2nd down and 4 yards to go. 1:45 to go in the football game. Starkville has no timeouts left.
No timeouts. They had to use 2 real quick there for confusion on their offensive alignments.
They break huddle and they line up in an I formation with wide receivers both ways. McKenzie is under the center, looking at a 4-man Lee Academy front, and he's going to throw the football. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for the tight end. Football was overthrown. He tried to reach up and grab it with one hand and could not pull it down, and brings up 3rd down now. 3rd down and 4 yards to go. 1:19 to go in the football game.
McKenzie just taking a little quick two-step drop back, and the tight end just going right over the middle that time. McKenzie just kind of tried to float it in, but it was floating a little too high. Coverage was pretty good that time by the Colts. Wayne Boland was right there.
Starkville Academy brings their football team out in an I formation with wide receivers both ways. And McKenzie, barking out his signals, goes straight back in the pocket to throw. Looking, throws it. It's going to be caught out there by number 40. That's Jamie Welch. Colts looked like they were in position again, Rich, and just could not get the football.
Good job again by the quarterback and the receiver just making connections that time. I tell you, a really fine job by Welch, the receiver, because he was covered by 2 men. but was able to slip in the gap, and the ball was there, and he made a fine catch.
1 minute and 7 seconds to go in the football game. Clock is running. Starkville Academy's got it first down and 10 yards to go from Lee Academy Colts 35-yard line. McKenzie straight back in the pocket to throw. Once again, not much pressure. Throws the football out of bounds and overthrown everybody. Be second down and 10 yards to go now as the clock stops with 54 seconds to go in the football game.
Exactly 54 seconds. Because we have one of those digital scorecards, score clocks over here that gives the tenths of a second.
So it is 54.0 seconds left in the football game.
Absolutely. About the length of time it takes Bruce Webster to putt. A 3-footer.
Second down and 10 yards to go for Starkville out of the I formation. Colt defense needs to hold 2 more times. McKenzie back to throw, this time getting a little pressure, looking over the middle, throws it, it's going to be overthrown, intended for number 81 for Starkville Academy. That's Ashley Harris. The football was overthrown, brings up third down with 48 seconds to go in the game. Third down and 10 yards to go.
We've not been able to put a lot of pressure on McKenzie. He's having a lot of time to throw the ball back there. Can check off the receivers as he finds them covered. But
Looks
that
like,
time just had everybody covered and just really kind of threw the ball down the gap.
And to be perfectly frank, it looked like they might have tackled Bradley Rybolt that time as he was breaking through to put pressure on the quarterback. Third and 10 for Starkville. McKenzie straight back to throw once again, but this time we're going to get a little pressure, and the football's complete out here to number 5, Layton. He's not going to get out of bounds and going to be short of the first down. 37 seconds to go in the football game. Clock is running. Fourth down and 8 yards to go. They have no timeouts left. 30 seconds to go in the football game. Clock is moving. This play of the game right here, Starkville Academy having to use those timeouts, Rich. Hurt them. 17 seconds to go. They're just going to throw the football in the end zone, I'm sure. Clock is running. McKenzie straight back to throw. Throws the football deep downfield in the end zone. It's going to be broken up by IVDs.
We're going to have an interference call down here on IVDs.
They're going to have it's going to be pass interference on the Lee Academy Colts. Down about the 1 yard line. That'll be a 15-yard step off against the Lee Academy Colts.
From the line of scrimmage.
Ball in the end zone, I'm sure. Clock is running. McKenzie straight back to throw. Throws the football deep downfield in the end zone. It's going to be broken up by IVDs. Running. McKenzie straight back to throw.
Call down here on IVDs.
They're going to have it's going to be pass interference on the Lee Academy Colts. Down about the 1 yard line. That'll be a 15-yard step off against the Lee Academy Colts.
From the line of scrimmage.
From the line of scrimmage.
Which will move the ball down to about the, 15-yard line?
Move the football close to the 15-yard line.
7.5 seconds to go in this ball game. Probably first down and 10 from the 15. Maybe 2 plays.
We'll see. This is a 15-yard step off against the Colts, and this is going to move the football down inside of the 20-yard line, down to the 18-yard line. And Starkville will have it first down and 10 yards to go from that point.
I'm going to be truthful with you. I thought IVDs did a pretty good job of going for that ball.
Well, I tell you, that's going to be a close call. That's going to be a good one to see Thursday night on the replay.
Hope you got that in good, Floyd.
And Lee Academy Colts take a timeout. Timeout is on the field. Lee Academy leads 14-6. 7.5 seconds to go in the football game. We pause 1 minute for this word from our sponsors. This is Lee Academy Colt football. .5 seconds to go in the football game. Lee Academy defense will be in a 4-man front. Starkville's got 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 wide receiver to the left, and 1 running back behind McKenzie. Coach going to try to put pressure on McKenzie here. They bring motion. They're going to fake a reverse. McKenzie looking down in the end zone, being chased. He's going to run the football and is going to be tackled short of the end zone. The football game is over. Lee Academy Colts win 14-6. Football game is over. Football teams are meeting at the field. Lee Academy Colts win 14-6.